In the quiet suburb of Pine Hill, where life moved at a pace best described as leisurely, the most dramatic events usually involved someone's lawn getting an inch too long or the local high school's football team losing another game. But all that changed one hot July afternoon when a bomb squad vehicle tore through the sleepy streets, sirens blaring, followed by a convoy of police cars. Pine Hill had never seen such a commotion, and the heart of it all was a small house on Elm Street. Marcus Hillman, a 30-year-old computer technician known for his reclusive nature, had been at the center of an unthinkable situation. That day had started like any other for him, his routine a comforting shield against the world's unpredictability. But as he opened his front door to retrieve his mail, his life took a horrifying turn. A man in a black hoodie, face obscured by a mask, forced his way into Marcus's home. Before Marcus could react, he found himself on the floor, a cold metallic ring clamped around his neck. His mind raced, but clarity came only when the intruder spoke. "Stay calm, Marcus. You have a bomb around your neck. Do exactly as I say, and you might survive this." Marcus's breath caught in his throat. The intruder pushed a cell phone into his hand, the screen displaying a countdown timer already ticking down from 4 hours. "Instructions will come through this phone. Don't try to remove the device, and don't call the police." With that, the intruder was gone, leaving Marcus paralyzed with fear on his living room floor. He could feel the weight of the device around his neck, each second of the countdown echoing in his mind like a death knell. Panic clawed at the edges of his sanity, but he forced himself to breathe, to think. He needed to survive. Marcus's first instinct was to call the police, but the threat of the bomb detonating made him hesitate. The phone in his hand buzzed, pulling his attention to a message that had just arrived. "Go to the bank at 5th and Main. Withdraw $50,000. Do not alert the authorities." It wasn't just a robbery. It was a sick game, and Marcus was the pawn. He knew the local bank, a modest establishment a mere 15-minute drive away. But driving there with a bomb strapped to his neck, every bump in the road would be a potential trigger. Nonetheless, he had no choice. He grabbed his keys, carefully checked his appearance in the mirror, part of his mind marveling at how normal he looked despite the explosive collar, and stepped outside. He avoided eye contact with his neighbors as he got into his car, praying silently for an uneventful drive. The journey to the bank felt like an eternity. Marcus's eyes darted from the road to the timer on his phone, which now read 3:30. He parked as close to the entrance as possible and walked in, trying to appear calm. The cool air inside the bank did little to soothe his nerves. He approached the teller, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, and forced a smile. "Hi, I need to make a withdrawal. $50,000, please." His voice trembled despite his efforts to remain composed. The teller raised an eyebrow but began processing his request. "That's a significant amount. Mr. Hillman, do you have the necessary documentation?" Marcus handed over his ID, his mind racing through every possible scenario of what could go wrong. As the teller moved to the back, the phone buzzed again. Another message. "Do not delay. Any unnecessary action will be punished." When the teller returned with the money, neatly packed in a brown envelope, Marcus could barely contain his relief. He thanked her and hurried out, the weight of the bomb and the cash making his steps feel heavier. Once back in his car, he received a new instruction. Drive to the old warehouse by the docks. The old warehouse was a relic from Pine Hill's industrial past, abandoned and forgotten. Marcus had passed it numerous times, but never had a reason to stop. Now it was the setting for the next chapter of this nightmare. As he pulled up to the warehouse, he saw another man waiting, dressed similarly to the first intruder. This one didn't bother with words. He simply pointed to a spot where Marcus was to place the money. Marcus complied, hoping this was the end of his ordeal. The man approached and handed Marcus a small, black box. "Put this in your car and drive to the following address." He handed Marcus a piece of paper with an address scribbled hastily on it. "Once you get there, you'll receive further instructions." Marcus took the box, his mind reeling. The address was on the outskirts of town, in a less populated area. He followed the directions, each passing minute a reminder of the bomb ticking down. By the time he arrived, the timer had less than 2 hours left. The new location was a decrepit house, its windows boarded up and its yard overgrown with weeds. Marcus hesitated, fearing another trap. His phone buzzed again. Enter the house and place the box on the kitchen table. Then wait. Inside, the house was as dismal as its exterior suggested. The air was stale and the floors creaked under his weight. Marcus found the kitchen and placed the box on the table, then sat down, his heart pounding in his chest. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the soft ticking of the bomb. After what felt like an eternity, the phone buzzed once more. You're almost done. Your final task is to deliver a message. Read the letter in the box and follow its instructions. Marcus opened the box, revealing a single sheet of paper. The letter was typed, devoid of any personal touch. Go to the Pine Hill Community Center. Find the main hall. You will see a stage. Stand on it and read the following aloud. Do not deviate from the script. The message included a series of numbers and letters, seemingly random. Marcus knew there had to be a deeper meaning, but with the bomb still ticking, he couldn't afford to question. He made his way to the community center, each step closer to what he hoped would be the end of this nightmare. The community center was nearly empty, save for a few staff members who barely glanced at him as he entered. The main hall was cavernous, its emptiness amplifying Marcus's isolation. He found the stage and stepped onto it, the weight of the bomb around his neck now almost unbearable. With trembling hands, he unfolded the letter and began to read. The sequence of numbers and letters echoed through the hall, a cryptic code that meant nothing to him but might mean everything to his captors. As he finished, the phone buzzed one last time. Good job. You've completed your tasks. Stay where you are, and help will arrive shortly. Marcus sank to the floor, exhaustion overtaking him. The minutes crawled by, each second a reminder of the bomb still ticking down. Just as his hope began to waver, he heard the distant wail of sirens. The bomb squad arrived, and within moments, they had him surrounded. Stay calm, Marcus. We're here to help, one of them said, his voice steady and reassuring. With expert precision, they worked to remove the device. Marcus held his breath, fearing any wrong move could be his last. When they finally unclasped the bomb and took it away, the weight lifted from his shoulders felt almost unreal. The police escorted Marcus to safety, where he was bombarded with questions. He recounted every detail, from the first intruder to the cryptic message at the community center. As the officers pieced together his story, a picture began to emerge. It turned out the sequence Marcus had read was a code linked to a bank account involved in a larger money laundering operation. The kidnappers had used him to divert attention from their real target, a high-profile financial institution across the state. The police investigation eventually led to the capture of the culprits, but the ordeal left Marcus scarred. Pine Hill's quiet life had been shattered, and Marcus could no longer find comfort in his routine. The bomb had been removed, but the fear lingered, a reminder of how quickly life could turn into a nightmare. Marcus moved away from Pine Hill shortly after, seeking solace in anonymity. He never forgot that fateful day, the cold metal around his neck, and the countdown timer that could have ended his life. He learned to live with the memories, finding strength in his survival and hoping never to face such terror again. As Pine Hill slowly returned to its tranquil state, the story of Marcus Hillman became a cautionary tale, a dark reminder that even the most peaceful places could harbor the seeds of chaos. And while the town healed, the scars of that day remained, a testament to the fragility of their peaceful existence.